Let's get these alerts off. We are doing good. It's Wellness Wednesday already. It's like the week is flying. Got back from Mexico on Sunday night, and I can't believe the week's half over already. But good morning, everyone. This is Carol Sue, aka Naughty Boss, live with
TwoSistas. Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Janis, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, and I'm still in my office, but the camera is kind of flipped here as I am in the midst of my workout. And actually, I still have my gloves on, and I'm wearing purple. And of course, purple, excuse me, is the color of the month because it's National Epilepsy Awareness Month. So on my personal page, of course, I'll be sharing a lot of info on that from what I have found. And, you know, sometimes the wealth is in the journey itself. And just a sidebar, which is kind of a funny thing. This is actually really nothing about something. But as I'm changing the bed yesterday, the last few, I usually do it on a Tuesday. And you know how they have those tags on like the pillows and the mattresses and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, why are these here? Like, is there the pillow police going to come around per perjury? You can't remove this tag and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, if anyone knows the answer to that, something about nothing question or comment, let me know, please.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Never really thought about it until you're talking about it. I have no clue. That's a good question. I have no idea. And along with National Epilepsy Month, it is also World Vegan Month. And well, actually, yesterday was World Vegan, officially the World Vegan Day, but they're talking about it all month. And that is really a lifestyle that, you know, many people have started to adapt. Because we know that any one food group eating too much of it is not good. But a lot of people have chosen to not eat any animals, no pork, no chicken, no fish, no dairy. And it's a very structured lifestyle. And a lot of people ask me, have you done it? Do you do it? And my answer to that is no. I do eat more plant-based. And I've had a few people say, well, you eat somewhat vegan. No, I don't. I don't eat any vegan because there are certain things that I am still eating that vegans do not eat. Well, what could they be? Very occasionally, I'll have red meat. I really probably am down to maybe once a month because I found some really good plant-based burgers now and actually what I consider ground beef, but it's plant-based. But knowing when I go out to eat that I would probably say 85% plus dairy-free, but I can't control, you know, how someone cooks, how a chef cooks. So I know when I go out to eat, do I ask for dairy-free things? No, I don't, because I don't mind that I'm going to get it here and there. I'm not a vegan, so I'm not going to specifically say that. So when, you know, I like I said, I'm almost completely dairy-free, but I allow that latitude for certain recipes or if I'm going out, I'm not that strict, but I am strict enough where I'm pretty much almost out of all dairy. So, and also eggs. There's just certain things that vegans do that, and it's not a question that I couldn't do them. I don't want to go to the step when I'm out and about and I'm at a restaurant. You know, I want to read. Most menus now have a gluten-free section. Most will say, you know, obviously a nut allergy is a different situation than someone that has a sensitivity to a food. They're going to know, they're going to look at the menu and say, I'm not going to order pasta. I got a sensitivity to gluten. They've got a gluten-free section or whatever. So you're going to do that. Somebody that's vegan or say has a severe allergy to a certain food group, yeah, they're going to ask that chef to prepare the meal that way. So I'm not structured that way. I'm structured, but not to that extent because I don't have an allergy. I could say that I have some gluten sensitivities, but nothing where that I would, because I don't eat a lot of that anyway, so it doesn't really impact my life anymore. Dairy does impact my life. It's not that I say I have an allergy to it. but my digestive system does not like it as much. And I'm kind of glad after I really found out how dairy and sugar specifically are the two worst things for anyone's gut. So there's a lot of different things that are going on this month that we're celebrating or making ourselves more aware of. But I do applaud all those vegans that are out there because it is a very committed lifestyle. Because you are going that next step. You're very passionate about it. So you're doing your due diligence if you are at a restaurant or at someone's home or whatever to kind of like, okay, what's being prepared? Can I eat it? Can I not? So I'm not structured that way. How about you?
No, I'm definitely not structured that way. I mean, I do a lot of plant-based things. Obviously, I have a gluten sensitivity. I don't have Hashimoto's or anything like that, thank God. So I'm more mindful. And going back to the vegan thing, obviously Ryan, my son, is a vegan, and when he reads labels much more educated than I am. And I'm just going to put that out there because, if there's an ingredient in something, it looks like it's vegan, but it's not. For instance, casing is a dairy product, and he's vegan. So, there's different aspects of that. I would consider myself more plant-based, but I don't follow a strict vegan diet. I follow my lifestyle diet, if you will. And I eat when I'm hungry, making sure that I am hydrating well. And of course, every day I do have to drink some cranberry juice, and I was actually looking at cranberry pills the other day, for good bladder health, I'll just say. So
yeah, and I think that the difference between that and the juice is, a lot of people say, well, I'm having fruit juices or whatever. A lot of fruit juices have a lot of sugar in them. So there are a lot of good juices out there that are no added. Just like I love applesauce. I can eat applesauce all day long, but I buy no sugar. Applesauce tastes just as good, but doesn't have all that sugar in it because, as we said, sugar and dairy are two of the worst things for your gut health. And I think flexibility in a lifestyle is key. But where you're that passionate about the ingredient piece to it, you are going to do more investigating. So, like if you are someone that's vegan, if it doesn't have the vegan symbol on it, you can't really trust it. You really have to, like, if it says that it's vegan, then definitely read the ingredients. If it doesn't have the symbol, I would question that there's probably something in there that is not conducive to somebody that's really that passionate that's important to them. And kind of like I always compare a vegan to someone that's Jewish and kosher. They don't back down from that. They have a certain way that they have to eat. And, it's not always easy, but if it means that much to you, you make it happen.
Right, exactly. And then kind of another sidebar to that is a lot of people just assume that vegan means that something is completely gluten-free, and that is not so.
Right. Yeah. Right. So there's a lot of differences. So somebody that's vegan can have gluten, but somebody that's gluten can't necessarily eat that vegan food if there's gluten in it. So if they have that, if they have that particular allergy. So you just, in sensitivity, you just want to just be mindful of those things. And, reading labels, for some, they feel it's overwhelming, but I kind of find it intriguing. It's like, I'm going to find the dirty rat that's in this thing, because there always is. If there's something in your food that you have, when you're reading the label and you can't pronounce it, most of the time it's not a good thing.
That is true.
And that to me is an easy mark. That's like an easy thing for me. I want to get to something that's really the healthy. And then there's like a line or something after it that really explains it a little bit further, like, ooh, that is so not healthy. Also, the other key piece to being a vegan is if you are sodium, like I have to watch my sodium. In vegan food, generally speaking, there's a lot of sodium in it. So you really have to be mindful of that piece to it. So there's all these different aspects of what's in it, what's not in it. Bottom line is just got to read things and take the time to do that, because if it really bothers your gut, you'll take the time to figure it out, because who wants to suffer like unnecessarily?
Well, right. And that's part of the process. I mean, I didn't get here 60 years to, without fault and without trying different things, of course. And when I obviously really started reading labels was when I was taking my certified course to become a health coach, and just learn so much more about how to read a label. And of course, the sugar, the sodium, we all know so a lot of sodium is not good for you. Yes, you do need some sodium in your diet. So
Right.
it's all about balance. So just a quick, thing with that, I'm going to talk about sugar now. 4 grams of sugar equals 1 teaspoon. So if you see something that has, for one, let's say it's cookies. I love cookies. And let's say the serving size is 3 cookies for a serving. And that contains 24 grams of sugar for 3 cookies. That's
Not worth it.
yeah. Not worth it. Not worth it.
No, and that way, again, we're not saying don't ever eat the cookies.
Right.
Because you're just, I mean, I think the only time I really eat cookies now is Christmas time. I've kind of narrowed my window, because I do like cookies, but I don't buy them anymore. And I make, cookies from scratch at Christmas time. That's the only time I really will do that. But that's the only time I really eat a cookie. I don't know, just, I like to compare, I like to put some of my food groups, or I should say recipes, in compartments. Because I go back to, when we were children, flip side of that, like movie shows, whatever, like The Wizard of Oz would only come out a certain time of year. Obviously, Charlie Brown Christmas came out a certain time of year. And there were food groups that, were that special that you only had them at that holiday. So I really kind of assess, like, I only eat stuffing once a year. That's at Thanksgiving, because I want to look forward to it. And I want to keep that tradition, makes it that much more special in my book, because you're only going to get that treat at that particular holiday. Turkey, yeah, you can eat turkey almost any time of the year. When we were children, you didn't. You only got it at Thanksgiving time. Even the Italians with the loaves and the fishes and all that during Christmas time, you only got it during that particular time frame, and then little bits of it during the year. A prime rib, a roast beef, a roast. Some people always cooked a roast every Sunday. Our family didn't. There was only certain times of the year that we would have those different food things going on. And I kind of like that, because to me, when you look forward to it, number one, who doesn't? But then you really appreciate it when you're really enjoying it. And I don't feel bad about it. Like, if I'm gonna overdose on cookies, it's at Christmas time, and I have no problem with it.
Well, yeah, and I was talking about candy, I think, the other day when I was traveling.
Mounds, yeah, eating the Mounds bar. I used to love those.
Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. I always had to remind myself when I was a little kid.
That's right.
Thankfully, I don't have to say that anymore, but I may be lying. But anyways, just having, it was like a 4-pack. So I had 2 the other day when I was traveling, and then 1 yesterday after lunch, and then I'll eat the other one after lunch. And I'm still in the ice cream mode. Normally by this time, I don't even want to look at ice cream. So, of course I buy the non-dairy, which does contain a little bit more sugar than I would like. However, I only have, I think the serving is 3/4 of a cup. I only do 1/4 of a cup. So it's not that bad, and obviously not something that I eat every day. But the purpose of me saying that is, if you like something, normally, like I said, I wouldn't have ice cream this time of year, but for some reason I'm just going with it. But I'm very mindful of my serving. And as far as cookies go, I don't even buy any of that. There's just certain things that I don't buy. Because, for instance, like when we go to visit someone, and like his cousins, they'll have the gluten-free cookies, which are very good. So I look forward to, when I'm going to visit them, and I know that I'm going to enjoy that cookie or two, maybe three. But, there's just, certain things I buy, certain things I don't. Don't say to yourself, oh, I can't have that now, just whatever. Just, it's all about perspective and being mindful of what you're doing, but how you're doing it. And of course, why you're doing it.
Right. And I think too, as you go from decade to decade with our wealth, our wellness, our mindset, everything changes. Now, if you would have, asked me, would I've stayed away from sugar and dairy 10 years ago, I would have told you you're out of your mind, because my thing was cheap. Like, you like your sugar, you like your ice cream, you like your cookies, your sweets. I was never a very sweet person. I liked an occasional chocolate mousse, occasional like cheesecake, and definitely a cannoli, but not like, I wouldn't seek out. I'd rather seek out, something heartier, like a loaf of bread, like cheese. And I mean, when I say cheese, we would go through, and John and I really like a really aged cheddar. We like good hard cheese. Havarti is not a hard cheese, but we like obviously Pecorino Romano, like Daddy, like, a really good cheese. But we would eat cheese so often. And, when I look back to the time frame when I was really eating a lot of dairy, I was very bloated, because if you look at, and look at the ingredients of cheese and how cheese is made, it is very high in sodium. So, and then you have the dairy aspect. So I would, just naturally feel bloated and tight all the time. But I love my cheese and crackers. We would have it that was like a staple in our home as a little appetizer before we even got to our meal. And we would do that with no relatives, no friends over. John and I would just love a plate of cheese and crackers. Now, I only buy the vegan version of cheese. I haven't found any hard cheese that a vegan cheese does. It's usually the softer version. But I know that if I'm having like a plant-based burger, I can still get the good feeling of having a cheeseburger, because I'm putting the vegan version of cheese, which is not. But again, it's still high in sodium, so I got to be careful with that, because a lot of times eating healthy is just the flavor is disguised when they add more sugar and add more sodium to make it taste better. So that's kind of the trade-off. But if you have issues with those things, that's the trade-off. You say, okay, I'm going to have that every now and then. So they even have mozzarella shreds. They call them Italian shreds on a vegan version. And you cannot, once it's melted and you've got your sauce or whatever you're making, it passes off as cheese in my book. Like I can't tell the difference. But again, I have to be mindful, because there's still a lot of sodium in it. Sodium is like my curse, I think. And I just have to be more mindful of it. So I found other alternatives to still adding all that good flavor, which all of you can do the same, a lot of different spices, some natural ingredients, to really will naturally bring out the good flavor and the goodness of the food that you're eating. But besides talking all about food, that's what we've been talking about. It is Wealth Wellness Wednesday. And this is a day that we really kind of introduce how does we put it out in the universe about being an entrepreneur and attracting that wealth and balancing, having a healthy relationship with money. And that goes with the act of kindness about an unsuspecting person and really trying to brighten their day up. It has nothing to do with the monetary amount. So we're not talking about like donating to your favorite charity, helping out your neighbor or your family member. It's really about just doing an act of kindness and the physical act. Because when you're doing a physical act of kindness, we know our brain and our thoughts, you have electrical currents. So you're putting that in the universe that I'm going to help somebody today. And it doesn't matter how small it is. It could be big. So we're not saying don't do big. If you want to do big, go for it. But if you don't want to, you don't feel like, it's in your budget, that's part of the mindset that you want to let go. You want to say, you know what, it doesn't matter how much I'm helping. I'm just paying kindness forward. And I love today because it is a day to, what does that mean? You could, tip your server if you happen to be out a little bit extra. You're at the bar, the bartender, give them a little extra. If it's someone that you don't know, just, write it in there. Going to the store, all kinds of little tidbits that you can do. Jan, what would be some of your favorite ways of giving to someone that doesn't know they're going to get something?
Wow. I got to think about that one, but it probably would be doing something in the grocery store, or even if it's, and even let's say if you're not sure what to do, and maybe you are in the line at the grocery store, and maybe an older couple or somebody is behind you, letting them go first. The wealth part of it is what inspires you to give, whether it's monetary or in kind. And, to an unsuspecting individual, that brightens their day, of course. And, that's what it's all about. So it probably would be doing something at the grocery store that pops into
Yeah, I actually love the gas station because you have that slot where you put your credit card in, and I've watched, I've stayed back a little bit just to see someone actually going up to where I've left some money in where you put the credit card, and they truly, and this is dating ourselves, so I'm sure some people may not know, hand and camera, that's what it reminds me of. They look at it and they kind of look around like, what is that? And they realize it's money, and they're like, who in their right mind, especially in this day and age with gas prices, put money in there? And, they're almost like, do I take it out before I put my credit card in? Like, what do I do? So I've gotten some funny reactions to that, which adds laughter. And of course, we know laughter also is a very good feeling, really gets those endorphins going. So, again, just paying it forward. It has nothing to do with the actual monetary amount. It's just a matter of I'm giving out wealth to help someone with their day. And in turn, that electrical current I'm putting out in the universe. And so many times I talk to people that start getting on board, and then like the very next day, oh my God, I found a $20 bill, on the ground. Or, geez, I got, this check came in I wasn't expecting. And that's what it really is about. It's about putting out in the universe what attracts you. Because money is not, a lot of people say, well, why would it just be money? Money changes lives. Money impacts other people. Money, wouldn't it be so nice to, like, you found out that, someone's car broke down, they have no way to get to work, and you could just say, hey, let's go out and buy you a used car. Let's get you something so you can get back forth to work. Wouldn't that feel good to just write out that check and not think about it? Well, in order to have that mindset, and a lot of people tell you, a lot of wealthy people in the world that are givers will tell you it's about how they put and perceive money, and they have that good relationship that more money can help more people. So yes, of course, you can get the baubles and all the frilly things, but that, a true entrepreneur, that's not what they're focused on. They're really focused about how can I impact somebody else and make their life a little bit easier. So that's kind of the whole spiel with Wealth Wellness Wednesday. And it's okay to have a healthy relationship with money. Money's not a dirty word. I think a lot of people, they get uncomfortable talking about it. Could be how they, the old saying, money doesn't grow on trees. Well, it doesn't grow on trees, but gosh, if it did, look how many people you can help out. So it's about the mindset that you have, that healthy relationship with money, that the more I have, the more I can do, the more I can impact others in a good way.
Yeah, I love how you describe that, for sure. And on that note, go forward and create your Wealth Wellness Wednesday in a way that inspires you to inspire others, which creates that ripple effect. And on that note, my name is Janis, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, and I'm with
TwoSistas, and this is Carol Sue, aka Naughty Boss. I already got my pickleball on. My pickleball games the last 3 days have sucked pond water. Well, I wouldn't say sucked pond water, but I have been playing my best. I'm a little off kilter, don't know why, but you know what? That's not going to stop me. I'm still going to get out on the course. I did have some decent games today. Very sweaty here up or down south. It's a humid day, but I'm embracing it. But yeah, go out today, do something, get some movement in, spread that kindness, spread that wealth, and we will see you tomorrow for Trending Thursday. A lot of things are trending. What is today? What do we have? 6 more days to go?
Yeah, and I think next week we'll be talking more about swamp water, and I'll just leave it at that.
Bye-bye, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.